up, people?
What's going on, man?
Dude, this week's almost done, man. We're right there.
Almost done. I got done working at 7 o'clock. Well, at like 6:45. My mom was over. She lives down in the Keys, so she was over. So I had to make dinner and help get the kids ready for bed. It's been a nightmare of a day.
Dude,
I like it though.
It's been a week. It's been a week.
Has. You know,
When does it
notice? But well, David Harper's here. People might notice, but we're Daveless.
We are Daveless tonight, guys.
Dave is doing something else. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know where he's at, but
I know exactly what Dave's doing. He's over watching our good buddy Brad Watley.
On the Vexen staff page.
Yeah.
So Brad is doing an update on his weekend. Oneida. How do you pronounce that? I have no idea.
Oneida. Yeah, and shout out to Brad, man. He's the truth. He's been killing it and doing a lot of good things in the industry. So
yeah, man. I mean, it's not often you can call an elite angler a friend, and he's one hell of a friend. So
that we can just call him, and he's pretty deadly with this little thing right here.
Yes, the RSB worm on the flipping hook with the flat out tungsten.
See, now I'm switching it up today, Andrew. I got a different little rig for you. This is what I'll use. Same principle, right?
Yeah.
Got the flipping hook.
A little heavier weight.
Yeah. This is a 1/4 ounce. This is what I want to pitch around some isolated reeds and little, like, if you have a lake where there's not much, but there's just that one little reed patch or that one little branch that's sticking out, I go with a 1/4. It gets it down. It gets the tail kicking a lot better. It gets the wobble on the way down there. So, completely. No Dave, Brian. I'm sorry. We're Daveless tonight. We are Daveless tonight.
Real quick. Yeah, no. We'll let them know you came.
Yeah.
You're not here for us. It's all right.
Yeah, we know you don't want to see us, Brian.
No. So
Brian sees me every day. He's tired of me.
Right? No, we've got a guest, and I've got a lot of questions. I know there's a few other guys that are going to have questions. David is actually going to be involved in the upcoming week with this gentleman, Randy Newton, with the Kayak Anglers of Florida. Dave's not here. Thanks for noticing. I'm glad we matter. Thanks, David.
Yeah, we're here. What about us? Me too.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. You know what? I'll see myself out. All right,
guys. Out. Y'all have your own show.
He's got his championship coming up for their kayak series, and I want to talk about that. I want to talk about what he's got coming up in the upcoming year and a few other things, because I'm fully intrigued with the growth that they've had and how it's gone for him.
Yeah, me too.
What's going on, Scott?
And let me tell you, you, Andrew, have like reignited my kayak fire that I had and I lost. And working through NextFish and meeting all these kayak guys, and I remember what it was. I did a little trail in Polk County, and it was super fun, man. It was a good group of guys, and I kind of miss it. It's more of an adventure, I feel, than a boat.
It's like it's its own thing. A bad group of guys for me with the. Well, let me rephrase that. It's never been a bad group of guys that travel together. When you go to an event and there's these like loners that don't really get involved, you get questionable and you worry a little bit. And I've had a few instances where we've had some unfortunate events happen where we've had to disqualify people or caught cheaters and things like that. So it comes with the territory. You got to be able to do it. But
happens in any tournament series. So
yes, but let's go ahead and get this guy in.
Let's bring him.
Let's bring him in.
I'm adding him right now, and I'm going to unmute him.
Wait. There we go.
What's going on, gentlemen?
How we doing, Randy?
A little bit of technical difficulty. That's how we roll.
Yeah.
it wouldn't be a show if there wasn't some sort of technical difficulty.
Right. Something has to go wrong. Usually it's on Dave's end, but he's not here, so let's see how smooth this one goes.
No.
We love you, Dave.
Randy, tell us who you are, what you do, a little bit about what the KAF is and stands for, and then we'll jump into some serious talk.
Boy, you're asking me what I do. There is way too much that we do.
Yeah.
You're only wearing one hat right now. I don't see that many.
Well, I'm Randy Newton, and I am the president and founder of the guy who helped make the Kayak Anglers of Florida right here in South Florida. And over the past 3 years, we've been working on a trail series that has now got enough momentum to carry on into the future. So it is, we have 8 trail stops throughout the entire year. We go to trophy bass destinations. We also throw in a couple wrench lakes that we call that make it a little bit difficult. And it is a lot of fun. We have 150 on paper this year at our championship. We're going to be taking 25 anglers to the championship. Last year we only took 16 or 17, I think. And it's growing, and we are excited. We're really excited to be hitting Deland next weekend. We're going to be up there from the 14th and the 15th, and just really trying to put a hurting up there. Last year, some great numbers came out of there. We crowned our champion there. We also gave awards for our Angler of the Year. This year, we're going to be giving our Female Angler of the Year and our Young Gun. We have our first under 18 that was there. So we had an amazing year this year where anglers pretty much traveled all over.
That's awesome.
That is pretty epic. So what is, out of curiosity, what is the youngest angler you have?
Yeah, no, like who? Yeah.
So he had just turned 18. So that's like our youngest. And then actually next year we're looking at possibly there's going to be like 4 or 5 young anglers in that, like, I would say 8th grade and above. Of course, they're all with a chaperone, and they all have to be out and stuff like that. So,
now, would they have their own division, or will it be more for sport?
It will be a young guns division. They're going to get awarded, so there will be a young gun winner.
Awesome.
And those numbers will also carry up into the Angler of the Year. So, I mean, a young gun could be Angler of the Year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
So it's a lot of opportunities right there, and we're trying to branch out. There's not a lot of females in our sport, and we're trying to get more in the state of Florida involved. We're trying to get more of those students because a lot of these dads are already teaching these kids how to fish anyway. So here's an opportunity for them to come up and try to fish with their father for a weekend. And why not try to go after and be a young gun and put that on a title and start moving your way through the ranks? I mean,
build that.
Yeah. Just up on it.
Absolutely.
I love the fact that the sport is I wouldn't say targeting, but moving towards some of the younger anglers. Like we talk about it all the time, that when I was growing up, that wasn't even a thing. Like, you had to get in with these like tin can tournaments and hold your own against grown men that fish that lake every single day, and now there's so much more opportunity for the younger generation out there. I think it's an awesome thing. And I think it's awesome that you're trying to get that involvement in the kayaking world too.
Yeah, we're trying to do that. We're really trying to see Kayak Anglers of Florida is a group of anglers that's basically grassrooting and building to the next stage. So we've got anglers that are starting to move through the ranks and go through the bigger tournament series, the Hobie BOS, the KBFs, and all the other big tournament series are starting to get up in there. And it's like, how can I help you move up? Like, I've got contacts, I've got people in the industry. Let's start to build those anglers and move them up through the ranks. And we're really starting to do that. We have one that has officially started to go through the cycle. He's been with us for a couple of years, and now he's starting to learn more about the pro staff and more about the industry and all the other stuff that goes into it. And it's kind of blowing his mind. And I'm like, listen, we can give you a one-track funnel and kind of help you, guide you along the way. And that's what we're here to help all these anglers do.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's good, like great that you're doing that, because for the longest time, as pro staff has been abused and misunderstood, rather. But
that's a whole other show, Andrew. If you want to get into that.
We have Marins, and then we have pro staff abusers. No, but it's just crazy to me to think that how evolved the sport has gotten, and everything that you're doing, Randy, everything that I've seen personally has been tremendous, and it's growth year after year. So I'm glad to see you're taking it to another step next year. And I'm a little heartbroken that we're not going to see you in Deland next year, but I'm loving the fact that we got you next week. So for what it's worth, we're gonna do what we can to shake down and see what's going on. I know I might be going out with someone to do some fun fishing next week. I'm not positive, but I won't say his name.
I think he's over here in these comment sections somewhere.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He is. He
no,
is.
And you know what? And really, that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to create a series that can last longer than I can last. We want it to be here. That if I needed to step aside, there's going to be somebody else that keep this ball rolling and keeps it going forward. And the next season, we're changing our format a little. We're going to the standard format where your top 3 events qualify you for the championship and put you in for the Angler of the Year. And we're changing that up. So what we've done in the past is you kind of had to be at every event.
Right.
And that is exhausting. That's exhausting on us. It's exhausting on the anglers. It's exhausting on trying to figure out logistics on what we're going to do and how we get there. And this year, it's gonna open the doors wide open. So we've already got a lot of new anglers that signed on already, registered, and
Awesome.
I'm excited to see that. There's just so much more competition getting ready to come up and through the ranks, and it's going to be really neat to see what happens on these 8 stops next year.
No, that's awesome.
So
we're all over the place.
So Randy, if somebody wants to get involved, I know that's one of the questions I got as I was sharing amongst the groups. What do they do? Where do they go, and how do they do it? And what are they going to need?
So for Kayak Anglers of Florida, you have to be a member, and that membership fee is you pay, and it gets you registered for the year. It's a 1-year membership that will go to awards and other expenses that go throughout the entire year for running shows and doing all these captains meetings and virtual things that we have to do nowadays, and that will all roll in. So you'll have awards that will be given at the championship. So it's $50 for the year. That $50 is, I think, a really, really low cost if you think
it's not bad at all.
If you think about some of the series that are out there and some of the big events that everybody drives to. So that $50 will then go into the bag. Then we have per event. So now per event, I think we are. I'm going to double check that one because I think it's raising just a little bit just to cover for like attorney fees and stuff like that. But that is per event, and you just register through Tourney X, but you have to be a member. So whenever you sign up for one of the events on Tourney X, we go through the whole roster and we double check that, see who's already paid for the membership, and just to make sure. Next year we do have their top 3 events are going to be qualifying for the Angler of the Year, and it's just going to allow us to spread out a lot more and not be so congested on our schedule. Like David says, it gets expensive being at all those events, and we're all budget anglers. I mean, we're trying to make it in this world, and we're trying to make it at the same time being an angler. So we're trying to cut that cost on a lot of the anglers too. And this gives a lot of breathing room and a lot of freedom to do what you want to do throughout the year.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm looking at 20X right now as we speak, and so it's a 5 fish per day, 10 fish total.
For the championship. Yes, sir.
For the championship. That's pretty awesome.
It's not
and
bad.
it's completely
tough.
Doable.
St. John's is such a hard fishery.
And that's where it's happening in this upcoming week, right?
Yeah.
In the St. John's.
Yeah.
Oh, God bless you guys.
No. Now, luckily for you, the water level is still pretty okay. There's not been any major storms or anything that have moved in, so you shouldn't have any major runoffs that are, over tannicking the water or anything like that, and you shouldn't have anything pushing back so much because we're still early enough in the year before flood tide season.
Anything's going to be better than last year, because last year we were pitching 20, 30 yards past the tree line trying to get fish, and that was rough.
No.
Oh, wow. I've only fished the St. John's once. I need to fish it more. I hear a lot of good things, and then Andrew scares the crap out of me for me to waste my time to go up there. So what are some techniques, or without giving up too many secrets, what are some techniques that anglers utilize up there, Randy?
Well, always a worm, always a speed worm, a worm. That's like a number one go-to. That's a number one go-to in the state of Florida.
I would say pretty much anywhere, yeah.
So if you don't have that on a rod, then you're going to hurt a little bit. Anything that you like to punch, any type of creature, it's pretty much to the angler's preference.
Nice.
Everybody uses everything from BB crickets to June bug zooms. I mean, you name it, they've all caught fish on them. So it's what the angler likes the most. But if you don't have a worm on, you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
What about you, Andrew? Any suggestions there?
oh, we went through it. You'll have to go watch his show that we did.
I did. I was trying to get you to repeat what you said on the show.
He's writing them down. He's like trying to get them.
Yeah, no.
St. John's list.
I've got one around here somewhere. Hold on a second.
Well, Joe, you held up one a little bit ago that is like
money,
a money, like pristine, and then that's like you're using a worm with a flipping hook instead of a wide gap, right?
Correct. I get way better hook penetration with that. From what I've been told, I might be off on the color here, but this setup is money. It is absolute money. There's a lot of meat on this.
Color will work.
A lot of meat will work. So I think it performs better with that Vector Mayhem 5.0. And the good thing about it is it's super weedless. I don't know if you can tell, but that hook keeper is almost not visible.
Nice. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it helps.
That makes it slide through whatever.
Anything, Randy. This is the most weedless hook I've
ever found. You figure with a traditional, like, forget the football head on this, but with a traditional hook, you've got all that area of the hook right here.
Right.
Right.
And whether it's an offset or a wide gap, you're going to have that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. So
David says June bug.
They say June bug. David Harper even says jackhammers. We're not going to deny jackhammers are like the number one bait out there on the market right now, and it is the producer. If you would go back and watch any of the episodes, it's like Jody Queen out there. I mean, he's won 20 events in the last 5 years off of just a jackhammer. So I mean, the jackhammer is a producer. So one of my favorites. I love the jackhammer. I love Nicholas said a little bit ago, the dart spins.
Really?
Those are good ones up there. And then the worm.
Can't go wrong with the worm. We kind of had that little conversation too.
Not have frog on.
Frog.
Well, frog. See, now frog is my strong suit. That's what I love. And, we're going to talk a little bit about another one of my creatures that I love to go after. And the frog is hands down. I will pitch a frog all day long. Even if I forget that I have the worms and everything tied on, I will still pitch a frog because I just like doing it. And it keeps me busy, keeps me active. And if I get bored, throw the frog back out there and start flipping it, throwing it out there again. It's just, I love the frog.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't go wrong with the frog. It's such a fun bite too, especially when they're biting. Mm-hmm.
And you know it when they start biting and you get on a nice run with the frog, hands down.
Keep with the frog, yeah. Keep the frog going.
My particular favorite thing to do is to throw the frog, have a worm ready, throw the frog all the time, and then I'm so used to them hitting and missing the frog. And then you cast in the worm like immediately after in that same spot, and as it sinks, they usually freaking nail it.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
got to have a chaser. You got to have a chaser ready to go. So as soon as you miss that one, get something else back there right away and do it.
No, absolutely. So speaking of, you're saying you caught this fish on top water?
Oh yeah.
You caught it on a frog?
Oh yeah.
They love frogs.
So my thought to this.
Boom.
Isn't that an awesome picture? That's an awesome picture right there.
Look at the mouth on it.
It's very awesome.
Like, I don't know. I always thought you could lip them, but I guess not.
No.
That's a bad idea.
But I've seen people lip them. I've seen them.
They're not smart. Let's put it this way. If you're going to use your bare hands, you're going to get them underneath the.
Yeah, I just gill them. Yeah.
That's going to be the place you're not lipping that sucker. If you lip it, you're going to have like no fingers left.
Yeah. And here's the thing. A lot of people don't know this about the snakehead. It's a little snakehead mudfish comparison because people get them mixed up a lot. A mudfish will actually bite you.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What a snakehead will do is it'll just the spin. Yeah. The spin will get you. They won't like bite you, but a mudfish will aggressively like attack. Bite you.
I've been attacked. I had long sleeves on. I got a sleeve ripped by a mudfish. I wasn't trying to lip it. I was trying to get it off the hook, and man,
dude, they bite. Like they will actually bite, but the snakehead will get that. They'll just go crazy on the spins. It's insane. So tell us a little bit about that snakehead there, Randy. Where'd you get him, or what happened? What's the story there?
So I was actually fishing. Actually, a buddy of mine and I we were fishing the KBF Snakehead Challenge for the entire month of, what was that, June. And
Sweet.
this was the last weekend of desperation. You know, I went out. I was testing like all new gear. I was testing the brand new GoPro 360 Max. I mean,
Oh, sweet.
that camera is amazing. So I was out there playing with that. I was also playing with a motor that I just got set up. I was also trying a new rod and reel. So I was doing like everything you shouldn't have done during a tournament.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was doing everything you shouldn't. But this is actually one of the main canals that run from the ocean all the way out to the Everglades, and we just have fun with this. We kick them up. We kick those frogs. We pull them up on the bank, and we let them drop in the water just like natural. We pull it through. So you have 3 presentations that you can do with this. You know, you can go real slow and let that frog drop a little deeper. I like to keep it like in that mid range. Would go a little bit faster to where the frog is right underneath the surface, and you just see the water tailing behind it. And a lot of guys, and I do this sometimes depending on the time of day, is just burn that sucker all the way across the top. I mean, just rip it. And these things are torpedoes. They hit like at 100 miles per hour. They spend a lot of energy going after the bait. So if you miss it, you missed it. You can come back maybe 15, 20 minutes later, almost 30 minutes later, and they might come back at it again.
Really?
They use so much energy to go after these things that it's really easy to miss up a hookup. Was just on the show with Chad doing the snakehead episode, and he was missing them like crazy because, you know, you get that mindset of bass fishing. You want to jerk it out of there. I have one of my favorite techniques is let them grab it, let them run with it, and just pull the rod tip straight up. I don't jerk it. I don't crank it out of there. I just let that hook go right to the top of the mouth every time, and you've got them hook set. And that's just the beginning of your fight. Like when you get them, they go into this crazy psychotic mode, and it's like death rolls and spins and runs, and you can be fighting them for a minute and a half to almost 5 minutes. It's just depending on the side of these things, and they will go nuts on you. And not only will they go nuts on you while you're fishing, while you're trying to get them out, when you're in the boat, when you're trying to measure them, while you're trying to get them off the hook, it's all the way. It's a nonstop fight. So if you can actually get a snakehead on the board to measure them,
you've succeeded.
You have done everything you needed to do. You could get that picture real quick and just get it back in the water, let it go again, because it is truly like it's the most intense fight, and it gets you so jazzed. It's like getting one of those big bass, and you get them on the frog. You can't calm down for like 20 minutes afterwards.
Yeah.
Your adrenaline.
No, it's a bucket list fish for me. I've been trying to plan a trip to go down with Rob Will, because he's always on them.
Right.
But he's been out and about freaking filming everywhere. Went up to Alaska, all sorts of stuff. Did you see the halibut he got?
That was amazing.
How big was he? Giant?
It was
big as
pretty
him in the
big.
boat.
Yeah, it was pretty big. But I don't know. I don't know. Chen Cohen, he catches monsters. I mean, this guy Chen is catching
like 7-pound peacocks every day.
Yeah,
like
7-pound peacocks, like 8 to 10-pound snakeheads on a regular.
Yeah. I had a big one pop me off down south, and I've caught a few of them that were like 3 to 4 pounds, but nothing to like the size of this one, man. It was kind of scary. Like, it was freaking huge, man. They're big and they're strong, and it broke 65-pound braid. I had it double tied at the knot just to give more abrasion resistance for that thing, because when they start spinning. But they're a fun fish. They're a smart fish, and they're very spooky fish. I've found. I don't know if you've had the same experience, Randy, but they're not dumb. Like,
no, they're not, and they are truly smart. Like, I can actually throw it out there. I can see the fish on the side.
Yeah.
I can throw it out there in front of them, and they just look at it like, "Yep, I'm
kind of like,
after that." No way.
Yeah, not that one. Yeah,
and
not that one.
They turn around and look at you like it ain't happened today.
No, and then they'll just swim off. Yeah,
they're very smart, but you can spook them. You can spook them with just a line hitting the water, so they're very finicky. They're very smart, and they are super strong. I mean, even the babies, the small ones, like you get a small one this size, you think you got a tank.
Yeah,
you get up in there.
I just think it's cool that we have them. Like, I love Florida. There's so many species of fish, between salt and fresh. We even have sturgeon. Like, there's sturgeon here.
Yep.
Who knew?
There's barramundi. There's barramundi here.
That's up there in
St. Cloud. Yeah.
St. Cloud. But last year we were on the Suwannee River, and there's sturgeon in there. I mean, they were actually deathly terrified to go in the river because the sturgeon were like coming up and hitting the bottom of the kayak and like going.
There was that woman that was killed not long ago, like a few years back, because of that. Jumped right in the boat, just boom, clunk, done. Yeah, like that's awful. Like I'm just saying, like when you got to worry about things that are below you that you can't see coming up, like the sky's falling. No, the ground's coming up at you.
Yeah, no, the ground's blowing.
Everybody's always like, "Oh, Randy, so you're fishing for snakeheads or you're fishing for peacock and you're fishing." They're like, "What are you guys using all the time down there?" Me, preferably, because we never know what we're getting in the water down here. Is I'm always using 50-pound braid and a 50-pound fluorocarbon leader. I always do it. And, there's many companies out there that have small braid diameters and small fluorocarbon leaders out there that, I mean, it's almost like having 10, 15 pounds on there. And you're just like, everybody's like, well, what are you using? 10, 15 pound? Nope, 50 pound. And they're like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, because you never know if you're going to get a snakehead, a peacock, a bat, a hook, a tarpon. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. So it's pure madness. When you go fishing, you're like, what am I going to get today?
Out of curiosity, what brands do you use when it comes to fishing line?
So I am a member of you're going to love this, the ball sack team. And that, yes. See, Joe's like, what? No way. The company is manufactured in Germany. So nothing's overseas in the other way. So they have everything. And nice small diameter and braid and fluorocarbon. Their poly ones right now are amazing. They have two colors, like a brown and green. They're really good, and they are, you can go online and look them up, find them on Amazon, and they're a real good line. So that's one of the lines. And then I use an oldie but a goodie, and this is going back probably, I would say 5 years ago. I have still in stock God line.
Huh.
Classic Dave.
That's Dave there.
He did say ball sack.
I did. That's why you perked up a little bit. Like, what? No, but yeah, that is the actual name of it. And it's I asked the owner, and I was like, why is there a meaning? What's the meaning of this? And it was actually supposed to be another name of the company, like a conversion of different names and an X on the end of it, and it just happened to be ball sack by the end of it was all done.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
You win some, you lose some. It's all right.
That is hilarious. It is funny you mentioned that, though, man, that the species, and you really never know what you're going to hook into. And you got to be prepared. If you don't have that strong line, you can get broke off quite easily.
Well, there's occasions that we go up and we fish Lake Ida, and you're going after clown knives and peacocks and everything else. And that a clown knife is another species that, it's not native to Florida, but it is so sought after to come down here and fish for that when you get one, it's like hooking onto a tree limb. It's just like, it just stops. And you're like, what is going on? And you physically think that you're stuck, but because of the way the body is and the way that it swims,
and it turns, it
swims backwards on you. That's why when it hits, it just stops in the water, and you're like,
what's going on?
Am I stuck? And so you're sitting there, you're fighting this fish, and then all of a sudden it like releases, and you're like, okay, here comes the log that I'm pulling up now, and it's an actual clown knife.
And there he is, yeah.
And you're like, now that you can lift that little thing. But their mouths are like this big. They're really small.
See, my boss has been hunting these things for a long time. I know they're pretty finicky too, depending on where you're going. They're going to Ida. Him and actually Brian Scaife. Shout out to Brian Scaife. Him and my boss are going to head out there and try to get some clown knife this upcoming weekend. So good luck to them. But I know they're very finicky too, and you kind of got to finesse them Sometimes I don't know. I've only hooked a few in my life. I've broke off, again, not prepared, but it feels like a big old burlap sack when you get them. That's the best way I can describe it. Like dead weight almost.
Pure dead weight. And I mean, the way I fish it is I troll around in there, and I've got certain areas that I just kind of like troll around and work my way around the jet skiers and all the other boats.
Yeah.
But I troll around through there, and that's when I know I'm more successful at doing that in that area than I am doing anything else. And so when I get that in that first meeting, like we had our last major event on Lake Ida, and I was the first one to do it in the first 20 minutes of the tournament. And I was like, this is all I needed. I just wanted to make sure I had this thing done, checked off the list, and then I can move on to all the other species.
Peacocks and everything. Yeah.
And it was fun, man. And, just teaching the anglers all about this stuff. I was a guide for a while down here and learned about all the different species. And so it was just fun fishing for these things again and being able to teach more anglers about it and just give them, throw a bait at them and say, hey, throw this at them and you'll be able to do it. It's like I have no secrets when it comes to fishing. I don't care.
Yeah. I want to see if I'm fishing with somebody or I'm taking someone fishing, I want them to have fun. It's
right.
I've had my fun. And
yeah, I feel that way too. But unfortunately, 1/3 of us doesn't. The guy that's not here, he likes to see me suffer.
I do like to see only you though. Like you
thanks.
Fun. Like
great.
That's kind of messed up a little bit.
Well, it's because I know he can. I know he has it in him, Randy. He just gotta dial it in.
You gotta give him that little loving push off the edge, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Dave's more like a drop kick to the back of the neck.
Listen, if he can drop kick me in the back of the neck, he's got to be standing at least 8 foot high.
If Dave can get his leg up that high, good thing you're a little shorter. Hey, Randy, one more question about species. I just can go on. I love the species and nature that Florida has to offer. Have you ever caught one of those big mouth sleeper gobies?
So I have not. No.
Oh, dude.
I know they're like a blast to catch.
They're super cool.
And they're really cool. I just haven't got one yet. But the nice thing is that there's so many different besides the gobies because they're all in fish tanks at one time.
Yep.
And so you have white Oscars and you have Oscars fishing these cichlids, and it's just this range of wild fish that you could go light tackle fishing for cichlids in the morning, and in the afternoon go bass fishing or peacock fishing, snakehead fishing, and then the next morning wake up and be out on the ocean catching sailfish, and you're just like, it's awesome to live in Florida sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes we got to deal with the weather, but other than that, I'll never leave. I've been all up the East Coast and back down it, but I love Florida.
Yeah,
can't beat it. Can't beat it. What is Dave talking about now? Use line on your ball sack, Andrew.
We can ban him. It's all right.
I'm not banning Dave. I love Dave. You just never know what he's going to say.
No, you never know what he's going to say.
That's the best part.
You gotta have those on the show with no filters. It's the best part.
It is.
Yes. No. We've thought long and hard about going completely no filter because our shows that kind of inspired the Tuesday show, or the reason that we inspired the Tuesday show is a lot of that was no filter. So we tried to find a happy medium. Like, how can we be as unprepared and chaotic as possible while still being user friendly?
Yeah, and the worst part is this is the most filtered you're going to get us. We're trying. We're trying.
It's difficult. No, so Randy, next week the event is the 14th and the 15th. Captain's meeting is the 13th, right?
So we kind of did our captain's meeting on Tuesday.
So
because we've got a lot of people traveling from all over the state of Florida, so that's nice. And kind of did it so where they can go back and they can watch it. We have a special group that's just for the championship. So all those anglers, we send out information, we send out hotel information, we send out all this crazy stuff to them in there. And so we really, when we meet up on Friday night, that is truly to sit back and just relax and just tell fish tales and hang out with Georgia and just to say thank you for having us up there.
Dude, that is so smart. Because seriously, every event that I've ever had to hold a captain's meeting for, it has been so chaotic that night because it's either at a restaurant or a lodge where there's a lot of people.
Right.
You're not heard. It doesn't matter if you have a PA system. Like it's just absolute nuts.
Just a hum of chaos, and nobody knows what the hell's going on.
That is pretty cool. I'm glad that you do it that way, because that way it's really just, like you said, enjoyable.
Yeah,
when you're there. So.
But the 25 anglers that are going, they've been at all the events, so they know the format. They know what we're doing. They know what they're. I mean, they worked really hard to get there, so it's like we want to reward them with some relaxed time. So that's Friday. Saturday night, we're going to bring them all together, kind of have our own little powwow, our own social time. That's where we're going to award the Angler of the Year, the Female Angler of the Year, the Young Gun. And then we got tons of prizes. My whole garage is full of prizes to give to anglers. So we just start drawing names out of the hat, and we try to get something out to all the anglers that is there. Because they put tons of time and effort to be part of the trail series, and we just want to try to give back as much as we can to them. And with the sponsors that we have this year, they came through, even though they were depleted on their inventory and stuff like that. They really came through, and they followed through with their commitment, and we are greatly appreciative of that. And so the anglers are going to see that on Saturday, and then Sunday after they're done fishing, we're going to go back to the brewery, do our final close up, and then just kind of do a nice little send off and crown the champion and send everybody home, because they probably got like 4-hour trips going in one direction and 4-hour trips going in another. So we know it's going to be a late day. So they get on the water at 6 a.m. and they're off at 4 every day. That's a long time to fish.
You go till 4, really?
Yes. So because so many anglers are coming to this area new. So you want to give them as much time as they can to try to just get things dialed in.
Figure something out, yeah.
Figure something out. Get in a hot spot. You know how those hot spots work up on St. John's. You get in a nice area, you could be in there all day long.
Well, so I'm going to give a tip for that, because on the St. John's River.
None of my guys are watching, right? Okay. Well, I have several of them in here already, so never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah. So on the St. John's River, to battle the sun over the head, the hot days when it gets really hot, there's a lot of spring-fed areas, and those spring-fed areas tend to put out a lot. And there's one particular area just north of Alexander Springs Run mouth that is money year-round. I won't tell you where it's at, but it's just north of Alexander Springs Run. There's a few spots. No, Dave, drop shot's not it. And surprisingly, what I would tell you to do is I would tell you to either Carolina rig or Texas rig.
Yeah.
But most likely Carolina rig, because it is a shell bar right there just north. I've already said too much.
Oh man, you got me. I just want to go fishing now. That's catching all my fish on shell right now.
You guys can just come down and hang out with us and fish if you want to. Come on.
I'll come down. All 1.3 miles.
I was going to say, what you're going to do is carry your kayak on top of your head and just walk over there.
Yeah, all 1.3 miles to Highland Park. Yeah.
No, and I mean, to the anglers that are on here listening to this, I mean, Andrew knows the area really well. So that's some solid tips right there. Some of the anglers that were with us last year that fished this event, those are techniques that are in your bag. You want to keep those techniques right there. And, you may start out different in the morning, but you're going to end up on a worm and a drop shot eventually. Because
I'd have a hard time not to throw top water in the morning anywhere.
Yeah. You have
to. How do you not, right?
Especially when you have, if you roll into an area, like if you're up in Dexter and you roll up in an area that has this beautiful lily pad area, come on. I mean, you just have, yeah. Or you're working your way through a grass mat that's up there in one of the areas. Like
no. So a few years back, like when I say a few years back, like 6 to 8 years back, Lake Woodruff used to be known for its dollar pads. Mm-hmm. And dude, you want to talk about running swim baits through there, or
a little dye dapper?
Yeah, dude.
Right on the top.
That was the money back then. That was the juice. Now finding those dollar pads is tough. I know Dexter still has some.
Right.
Woodruff, that area doesn't exist anymore. It got destroyed.
Yeah.
But
it's beating last year. Like it was pretty rough going through Woodruff last year.
Yeah.
And there was a lot.
The South End is better. Yeah. But no, man. No, I appreciate you hopping on. I learned a little bit. Definitely going to check out everything that's going on next week. David Harper and I are going to be doing a little bit of something, hopefully sometime this week. Depends on the schedule. But
whenever you guys want, if you can't get a hold of Rob Will, you can always get a hold of me, and I will take you snakehead fishing. I will be a good, solid second choice if you don't get to go with Rob Will.
There you go, Andrew. Get you a snakehead, man.
Yes.
It's about time.
No, I'm down. Where's that spring again?
You missed it. You have to watch the replay, Scott.
Yeah, watch the replay.
I know. No, that's why we do it.
Hey, you gave another tip on Randy's show. You let out one little extra tip about some type of signage.
Oh, geez, not to sign again.
So between Lake Dexter and Lake Woodruff, somewhere there's a creek that runs through there.
He's got
on Lake Dexter, the side that puts out on Lake Dexter, the creek is called. It's not called this, but the locals have claimed it as Camelcock Creek. Okay.
Enough said, right?
Yep. Enough said.
If you go to any of the bait stores up in there, they're going to tell you right where that is if you wanted to know about it.
Yeah.
A lot of information, guys. If they're fishing this, they should have tuned in because juice.
Yeah, all the ones that did, they're gonna be on point. And one of them's going with the Andrew anyway next week. So
anyway.
Yeah. Listen, that day for just a light fee of $60 an hour, I'll be in anybody's boat.
Nice.
No, Randy, man, I appreciate you, and we'll definitely talk soon. We're going to get ready to close out here. We've got sort of an announcement to make after this, and you can kind of hang out if you want to. You can jump off if you want to. It doesn't matter. Joe and I and Dave were talking. What we're going to do is we are going to stop the Tuesday night live feeds, and we're going to focus on Tuesday afternoons and Thursday nights and just do those two, because Tuesday night was getting a little bit more, I don't want to call it redundant, but it was getting hard to
for everybody,
keep fresh. And then on top of that, I don't want to compete with yours. I want to join in on yours.
Yeah, if anything, we want to come on yours.
Yeah.
I'm all about it.
What?
Wow.
I just caught that whole sentence and
that whole segment.
As I was thinking to say it, I'm like,
it's a whole other show. We're gonna make this the after hour show.
Yeah, no.
Hey, after 9 o'clock, anything goes, guys. Put your kids to bed.
NextFish X with like 3 X's. Yeah.
X. No, and I totally agree with you, because we have actually been trying to evaluate, because that Tuesday night seems very heavy loaded. And there's tons of shows, and they're all great shows. I'm not knocking any show that's out there. All these guys that put their show together, they do a lot of hard work, but Tuesday night is very heavy laden, and it's got a lot of just information, and you kind of don't want to miss it. You always end up watching a replay of another show,
right?
And being a part of the show and working as like you guys are doing, and having the comments and everything, and having the anglers and everybody engaged and involved, that's where it's at. You want to watch. You want to watch that live. So moving your show to Thursday, focusing on Thursday, and then having your 2:00 in the afternoon show is huge, because I love when I'm at work and you guys come on at 2:00. It's perfect. It's like the perfect time for me to kind of start to unwind my day and turn my brain down and start talking about fishing and getting ready for the evening. And that's what I love. So keep doing what you guys are doing, man. I really appreciate it. And yes, you guys are going to get an invite to our show, because we're going to have some fun on that one.
Awesome. We appreciate you, Randy. And you have a good show too, but I've been tuning in here recently, and I'm enjoying every minute of it, man. You and Ryan kill it, man. It's awesome.
I'm trying to get Ryan out of his show. We need to
open him up a little bit.
He when you get him before the show, you would be like, oh my goodness, this is the same person. But he gets it all out at the beginning. I just need to tell him be quiet and then talk during the show.
Yeah, I try to come in like 10 minutes before, so I don't waste too much gas at the beginning of it all. And I can just let it all go here during the live. But Randy, again, like Andrew said, I appreciate you, bud, and can't wait to get on the show and have some fun, chop it up.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a great evening.
All right, take care, Randy. Thank you, bud.
Now, so with that being said, I think it's going to be a great move, Joe, and we just gotta keep everything going that way. So
yeah, it'll be a little more structured, guys. We'll have a few segments for you moving forward. We're going to have a new layout, new background Andrew created. It's going to look awesome. A lot of good things. Don't worry, Dave is not gone forever. For everybody that's upset about the no Dave, he's coming back. We're bringing Dave. We're bringing Dave in and out and up and down.
I'm just, that was a sneak peek. That was it. That's all you get.
That's all you guys get. That's it.
That's all you get. No, but yeah, no. All right, Joe. I'm ready to wrap this up, and I will see you guys Tuesday.
1 p.m.
I've got a ton of stuff to do still. My day's not over. It's never over.
It's only 9:15, Andrew. Dude, I'm about to go eat lunch. Okay?
There you go. There you go.
All right, guys. You guys take care. Thanks for tuning in. Randy, thanks for joining us tonight. Everybody have a good night.